I'm Jay Sifford. I'm a landscape designer from Charlotte, and this is my mountain meadow garden built on the top of a septic field in West Jefferson, North Carolina. Before all of this, I had a fairly wooded front yard. Some of the trees weren't in really good shape, and we had to cut down most of the trees to do the septic lines. So I took that as a good opportunity to create a full sun garden, which I've never owned before. I've done them for other people, but I've never had one of my very own. And so it was great. The backyard is very shaded and the front is sunny, so I have the best of both worlds. So some of the challenges that we had early on, in addition to cutting down the trees and getting rid of the roots, was that we had to put a berm across the front to keep water from coming off the road and flooding the septic field in a big rain. But actually I wanted to do the berm anyway. It gave me the opportunity to install a little bit of a barrier between the road and the garden. That was one challenge. The other challenge was they brought in a lot of fill dirt. They brought some from the next county over and some from this county, and the first loads of fill dirt from the next county over were gray clay, anaerobic stuff, bricks, tree roots, all mixed together. So I really had to amend the soil because obviously very few plants will grow in that kind of soil. The conifers were the first plants that I installed. I actually did that about a month before I moved in. I had 2 big truckloads of conifers coming up from Oregon, and that was an exciting day. The building inspector came by and he thought I was the landscaper, and he said, do the homeowners actually know what you're doing here? Do you have a plan, or are you just like sticking stuff in wherever you want to put it? And I didn't want to make him mad because I thought he'd appraise the house for, $1.5 million. And so I just said, I'm just putting them where I think they're going to be the happiest. I thought that was the best way to deal with that. But they went in first, and then the next spring I planted the pennisetum grass. So I did about 135, I think, Carly Rose pennisetum in big swoops around the property. There are 2 semicircles of the grass, and they basically mimic the shape of the seating area that's in the front, and it does give you kind of that nestled in, secure feeling, kind of like you're immersed in the middle of the garden. And then I did some other shapes also. I did a river, stolen the idea from Pete Udolph of Caradonna salvia, and then I mixed some Millennium allium in, and this fall I'll do some purple crocus, so I'll have 3 different seasons of that. And then I did an ocean of yellow Zagreb coreopsis, which is a little bit past its prime, but still blooming. And then I kind of filled in around it with smaller groups. It's hard to say if I have a favorite plant or not because I am in love with conifers, but probably the Abies pincepo, which is the Spanish fir, or the blue cloak concolor fir. I really like both of those. I think that movement is very important in the garden. I kind of look at a garden as a choreographed theater production in a way, and it gets really windy up here, especially in the winter. We can have wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles an hour, and since I'm in a valley, it's like a big wind tunnel in the winter. So I thought it was very important to incorporate kinetic movement into the garden through the grasses, primarily also some of the taller perennials like the Verbena bonariensis, just to add that other layer to the garden. I think a successful garden is built on many layers, kind of like a big layer cake, and I think each layer needs to speak to the layers above and below, so kinetic movement is very important in the garden. I think this is pretty much finished as far as new projects go. It's pretty full. In Charlotte, I always told people that my garden read like the Chinese calendar. There was the year of the heuchera, the year of the hosta, the year of the daylily, all of that sort of thing. But since I'll be 64 shortly, I felt like I just wanted to get this garden done so I could deadhead and weed and just sit there and enjoy it with coffee or with wine.